roundtable last week as well, so you can watch it back. And we also have a replay at 4 p.m. Pacific today if anyone is crazy and wants to come again. We have different presenters. Speaking of presenters, folks, meet our amazing ones today. I'm Wendy, and I'm so excited to have you here today. And we also have a special guest star, not on the slide, but Minecraft Education Edition's principal, who is going to say hello to us. Allison Matthews, are you there and want to share a little hello and what's in store this year for Minecraft Education Edition?
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, see and hear you. Sounds great.
Yeah, awesome. So my name's Allison. I'm the executive producer for Minecraft Education Edition, and I am so excited that we have this series going, and we've got such great attendance from all of you. We know that we're in some crazy times right now, so the purpose of this month is to give you some tips and tricks and just walk you through how to more easily light your students up with the beauty of Minecraft. So we have all kinds of new features that are being worked on by the team as we speak. Our next release will come in time for Hour of Code, so you can look forward to that. And I'm not going to take any more time because I know we've got a packed agenda, but it's really awesome to see you all here, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this call goes. Take care.
Thanks, Allison, for being here. We're so excited for what's to come and so excited to have so many people on the call around the world today. Hi, Susie. Thanks for joining us. Not only are you Master Muter, what else do you do around here at Minecraft?
Yeah, thanks, Wendy. Hey, everybody. My name's Susie, and I work on customer engagement. And I get to work on really fun projects, such as a really cool build challenge that we did at New York City Department of Education back in June during the end of remote learning before summer break. So with that, I would love to introduce our two guest speakers, Nancy Woods and Laura Winter. They both work for New York City Department of Education and have been doing a lot of cool things with Minecraft over the years, but we're really excited for them today to share how they really launched Minecraft Education Edition to all 1 million students in New York City back in June. So Nancy and Laura, if you guys want to come off mute and turn on your video and say hello, feel free to add in anything I didn't say just now, but they will have the opportunity throughout this entire presentation to walk through how they launched their Minecraft assignment in June to all their students.
Hello, everybody. Excited to be here.
Hi, it's Laura. Just nice to be with everybody today and look forward to working with everyone to get as many students as we can using Minecraft Education Edition.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Happy to have you, and thanks for taking the time. We know how busy all of you on the call are as educators. So yeah, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, everyone. It's such a treat to have Nancy and Laura. They're doing incredible things in New York, and they're gonna, as Susie mentioned, they'll be throughout the day. Not only will Susie and I be showing you how to do this, and then they'll take it back to real world and share exactly how that was done in New York, and then you'll have a chance to play. So let's keep cruising. Thanks all for coming. We've got, first, we have to set up your workshop station. Okay, everyone? I want you to pretend maybe you grabbed your coffee and your donut and it's your morning tech session, right? And you're with your colleagues, except now your colleagues are all over the world. It's that much more amazing. So first of all, you should have gotten an email asking you to download Minecraft Education Edition. So if you haven't done that yet, now is a wonderful time. Susie's going to drop in the link. And then we've got our support team on the call today. So if at any time you need some extra help, Carrie, did you want to say a little hello to everyone? Carrie is the woman behind the magic at our community hub, our support tickets, our articles, everything. And she's going to be on hand to help you because we need to keep going on the workshop, but we want to make sure you get the answers you need. Hey, Carrie, do you want to say hi real quick?
Hey everyone, I'm Carrie. I think Wendy did a great job of introducing me in my role. And if you have any questions, feel free to ping me directly, mention me in the chat. I can help answer questions. And if you're having any trouble, we'll try and figure it out for you.
Thanks so much, Carrie. So yeah, we will keep going and you might feel frustrated, but please feel free to go ahead and direct message Carrie. She has all sorts of tips and articles that will help you probably answer your unique problem you might be having today. So you do need to download it. Then once you download it, you do have to log in, right? And you might, you'll want to use your Office 365 account, which is your school email, like Nancy and Laura, or at NYC. So then you'll log in with that. Your school might have Minecraft Education Edition. We went through this on our roundtable. If you don't, right, maybe your school doesn't have O365 yet, you can join us today in a demo lesson. So once you download, instead of signing in, go to the demo lesson and then you play with that today. Okay, and then we have some follow-up materials on if you don't have O365 or you don't have Minecraft Education Edition licenses yet, we're here to help you out too. That might be something great you can ask in the chat or ask Carrie. But to keep going with us today, we encourage you to come in our Hour of Code demo lesson that anyone in the world can do, and then we'll help you find the right way to get an account for Minecraft. Sound good, everybody? Now's a really great time in the chat if you have questions for Carrie, if you're not able to download it, but we will give a moment for you to go ahead and get that downloaded. Also, while you're downloading and finding that, if you haven't yet, set up your workshop, your workstation, right? So once you download Minecraft, you can find it on your computer, right? By searching down in your bottom left. If you're on Windows, search Minecraft, go to your programs. We're on Chromebook now, which is so wonderful. You might be on iPad and finding it. So find it, open it, and then also you probably have this Teams hanging out. So you can make your Teams, don't make it full screen, minimize it, and then you can wiggle it around and move it, okay? That's how my screen's set up right now. I've got my PowerPoint open, I've got my Teams. So let's set ourselves up for interaction. Great, and then once you have that, you keep us, you don't want to lose us. We want you to be able to type and see us. Now, get Minecraft open too. Pro tip, probably close everything else out right now, right? And have these two things front and center so that you can play, demo, look around, and then watch me on the screen and type in the chat. So I'm going to give just another minute for everyone to get sorted. Get your desktop looking nice and pretty and ready for our workshop. In the chat, go ahead and drop questions. If you weren't able to download, maybe it's still downloading. If you don't get it downloaded or open, it's okay. You move into interactive mode, into watch and absorb mode, okay? And then you watch it later once you have it downloaded. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carrie, for helping out Wanda with Chromebooks. Again, we'll wait another minute, but then you might want to just hang back and watch or work one-on-one with Carrie. This is your hour, your choice. We want to be the most helpful to you as possible. Ooh, someone shared, I love it. Thank you. In the chat, we have a nice little screenshot. I like that. If anyone else is brave, take a screenshot of your beautiful screen setup. That's nice. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. We know you might be used to kind of sitting and getting at your webinars, so we appreciate you trying out this fun new virtual method with us. Dino's looks good too. I love it. Much cleaner than my desktop. Don't forget, if you like somebody's, oh my gosh, look at all these. These are wonderful. It makes Susie and I feel like we're walking around the room, because that's exactly what we would be doing if we were running this workshop right now. It's so great. Don't forget, you can like or plus, give a thumbs up to anybody. Split screen. Ooh, somebody got the fancy split screen. Awesome, Shrestha. I like your beautiful purple. And then we see us on the background, but don't forget to open up Minecraft now. I love it, guys. Hi, awesome. Okay. The equivalent of checking everyone's screens and the room walk around is complete. We're going to keep going, everybody. Thank you. Again, please don't be frustrated if you didn't get it open or downloaded. Either reach out to Carrie right now or sit back, watch, and relax. Ooh. Oh, thank you. Somebody so excitingly took the screen share from me. I love it. Here we go. Thank you for sharing. We are now going to come back to my deck. Here we go. Thank you. I love that. Okay, we should be back on mine now, right? You got mine, Carrie and Susie?
Yep, you're good.
Awesome. Okay, so step one, we've got, how do you actually find what you want to teach, right? Bradley said in the chat, let's start from scratch. We are going to start from scratch, meaning just have a think. And in the chat, can you let us know what's top of mind for you this month? What do you actually have to teach, right? So don't think about Minecraft right now. Just think about your standards, your units. What are you teaching in the next month or two? Maybe you are teaching Egyptian civilization in history. Maybe you need to teach right angles in geometry, right? What are you up to? Start coding unit, says Nikki. Ooh, social emotional learning, Melissa. Oh, how fun. Oh my gosh, look at my face on your screenshot, guest. Apocalyptic literature before World War I in Europe. Oh my goodness. How fun. Digital citizenship. Ooh, cool. Kara, you might want to message the SEL gal. Melissa was in, is it Melissa that was doing SEL as well? We've got computer network protocols, Miguela, human body anatomy. Thanks, Susie, for dropping in an amazing coding curriculum for a couple of, Vicky, we now have critical mass. There are 3 social emotional learning teachers in the call. So that might be fun for you. I want you to put that brain on when we're jumping into the lesson library. Lunar phases, intro to programming, how cool. So now that that's top of mind for you, everybody, now we want you to go ahead and find something in our library that matches it. What do I mean by that? Susie's going to walk us through how do you go once you're in Minecraft to find an existing lesson or build challenge. And then our New York gals are going to show what they chose in New York. Susie, do you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, awesome. So in Minecraft Education Edition, we have our in-game library. So right here, when you click View Library, it's going to open up and you're going to see a variety of different things. We have lessons, and when you click in there, you're going to see various subject kits. What we clicked on was build challenges. We launch build challenges, a new one every month. This month's is all about bees, since bees was in our last update. Minecraft build challenges are meant to be easy to launch, easy to get started activities if you as the teacher are new to Minecraft, or it's your first time doing a Minecraft lesson with your students. This, I think, is an amazing first challenge example. It's called the Museum of Me. So starting off the brand new school year, wanting to get to know your students while they're home, not in your classroom, being able to collaborate with everyone else. Students can go in and actually create a museum of themselves and share that back with the class as a way for you to get to know them as the educator, but also for the students to get to know each other and what they like. And so we'll continue with this example throughout the presentation. But before we move on, I wanted to drop a link into the chat. We have a ton of different subjects that were just brought up, science, computer science, SEL, digital citizenship. We have over 500 lessons on our website. So I'm going to drop that link into the chat, and those can all be found in different subject kits. So there is something for everyone, no matter what subject or grade level you teach. And we're slowly starting to pull all of that goodness of those lessons from the website into the in-game library. But if you want to see the goodness of it all, check out that website link that I just dropped in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you, Susie, for the walkthrough. I'm seeing good questions come through. Now, just like we would be in our workshop room with each other, now you have some playtime. So I'll run through it on the screen again. You should be going to View Library. Susie and Carrie will drop in some links to you. There's some really great articles in our community hub about skins. I saw a question about that, Shrestha. I also saw questions about music, turning it down. We will go ahead and drop in the links to how you can self-do that, and you can do it during our work time right now. So again, go to library. You're going to want to go ahead and choose. We're going to do challenges today because that's what New York's going to show us. And then later, of course, play around in all these others. But we're focusing on challenges. So, I'm going to do work time real quick and then go to our New York gals, okay? So I'm going to turn on our timer, everybody, because I know you're already in there and playing. Open it up, find a challenge, and then I want you to actually play around, right? Go and see what happens. You want to experience like your students would so you can understand when they ask you about it, right? This is our play time. So I'm going to go ahead and start our counter here so you can see we'll get 4 minutes for this. Great, and we'll be in the chat. We'll be answering questions. but find that world, play around, and then think what you want to teach. Is there one that fits it? If there isn't one, right? Like there's not one that directly does it, think of how else you might be able to switch that, right? If you have that B challenge, what about that B challenge could connect? Or there's our great bedroom challenge, right? Maybe it could be you can do digital citizenship or even just a team building, right? You're starting your classroom. Maybe you don't have a direct connection that you see right this moment. This is a wonderful way to build, just start to build teamwork and collaboration and all of these skills that your students are going to use all year long. So we got 3 minutes left. Keep cruising. Drop in the chat as soon as you have a question. Yeah, Cheryl, once you find one you like, open it up and get in there. And all these questions that come, like, well, why does that happen? Take note, because your students are going to do exactly what you're doing today. And so if you have a question or you're confused by something, just write it down or throw it in the chat right now. And that way you can feel confident to answer the questions when your students do this very exact activity. Great. If you still can't sign in, folks, remember, if you don't have an account, right, and you're not able to sign in, you might not be able to search today. You might just be using that demo lesson, the one that we showed at the beginning, the hour of code. But our team will help you figure out if you can get this in the future if you aren't able to sign in. Thanks, Carrie, for all of your awesome support. The bees are so big. Oh my gosh. Thanks for the screenshot, everyone. Once you're in and you like one, if you want to share your screenshot of your chosen challenge, remember there's no worries about commitment. You can even just choose one that you don't actually want to use in the future, but we will make a commitment today because we want to work through our workshop. Okay, we got about a minute left. Make sure you look through them, read the description of what you do for the challenge. Voting corral. Thanks, Wyatt. Maybe you want to ask Carrie and dig into that a little bit more about your account. Oh, thanks, Carrie. Music is almost done, everyone. 30 seconds. Grab your screenshot of the one you chose. And again, don't worry. If this feels fast, go in with it. Then you can watch this later and work back or go through our wonderful tutorials. Let's see what's come in. Remember, we'll be giving away some fun door prizes from anyone who participates in our chat. Or if you're so excited about the challenge you just found, tweet it #MinecraftEDU. Deepak, we're going to cover playing in the same world, and time's up, everybody. We're going to cover playing in the same world during multiplayer week. So not even next week. Next week is going to be, how do I make my world and send it on to somebody else? Then finally, the entire last week is every day walking you through multiplayer. So I want to see you there, Deepak. You better be there. Chemistry challenge. Thanks, Bradley. That looks fun. Okay. Wonderful. Now that you have it, let's turn our attention to our amazing guests at New York and let us know, how did you come through your idea? Walk us through this because your challenge was really interesting. Thanks, Laura and Nancy.
Great. So here we are coming up with an idea. Basically, we wanted to design something during this spring slump for teachers where, we were amidst COVID and there was a lot on the teachers trying to design these lessons for all their students. So we really chose the challenges because we could go direct to to students without having to hinge a lot on what teachers had to do. So our wonderful partner, Susie, gave us these these 6 options, which is in that link, the challenge toolkit here. And we selected public space and healthcare because we thought that that was quite topical for everyone. And we were quite surprised with the responses that we got, which we'll talk about a little later. In addition, we held webinars to launch the event. And so this was all about trying to really evangelize what a great opportunity this was to get this wonderful resource in the hands of our students. We had a web page, which we'll hopefully show you. And basically that's where we launched everything from the web page. And we had actually 22,000 views of our launch video, which was pretty amazing. And that was all through the partnership of Microsoft. One other thing, we did these daily office hours. And so basically for an hour, Laura and I would get on the Microsoft team that was open to everyone. And it was published through our webpage and everything. And people would just pop in and pose questions and just chat up about how things were going. So that was really a wonderful resource to do. So we recommend doing that, having the daily office hours so that people feel supported through the challenge. And I think I mentioned that we email blasted all of our teachers and principals. So in New York City, we have about 1,800 principals and 90,000 teachers. And we were lucky enough to be able to have those distribution lists and send it out to everyone. But for all the individual teachers on the call, everything we did can be scaled down to your individual classroom. That's about it.
Cool. Thanks, Nancy. And I posted the link. It might have gotten lost because there's lots of activity going on. So I'll drop it in again. But what's really cool is that New York did this at the district level, right? So this was available to every student in New York City, whether they were in 1st grade or 12th grade. And we'll share some videos at the end later of some of the different submissions. But this challenge toolkit can be used to do a larger scale project and really bring all of your students in your district together to solve a problem, goal, or issue, and really give the students a voice. So I'll drop that challenge kit link in again. It's a really great resource if you wanted to do something on a larger scale like New York City did. Thanks, Nancy. That was awesome.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nancy. And I think we have mostly teachers, but if we have any instructional coaches or leaders in the house, feel free to ask Nancy and Linda any questions about how they did this. Or even as a teacher, once you do your challenge once in the class like this, try it out here in October. And then it's so fun. You'll see other teachers ask you, how do I do that? Maybe you have a grade level challenge on your floor, right? That's where you get that motivation and excitement in students where they know, oh my goodness, my world is going to be viewed by other people. And that's the magic of Minecraft for sure. Thanks so much. Linda, did you have anything else to add on to that about how you chose the challenge or kind of picking it and getting started? Oh, you might be muted. Sorry, we master muted everyone at first.
No,
there you are. Awesome.
Yeah, I think the only thing to add is I think, as Susie said, this was an opportunity for us, given what was happening with COVID, to do something at a district level to try to really build excitement around something that the kids could get engaged with. And it's the first time we did it, and I think, you know, we accomplished that goal because we did get a number of kids, as Susie said as well, from kindergarten up to high school participating. So we can't wait to show you some of the students' work, because that's really where the rubber really does hit the road.
Awesome. What a valuable resource to have with Laura and Nancy here. We dropped Nancy's Twitter on the chat though, and like maybe this can be great. I see Vicky's like, I'm a coach. So wonderful that you could perhaps learn from these gals in your personal learning network. All right, folks, if you have any other questions about choosing the challenge and this very first step, let us know in the chat. We're going to keep going. Now, all of you should have chosen one challenge that you think you might want to actually assign to your students sometime this year, okay? And remember, this is just something that every single one of your 30 or 120 students are going to complete on their own individually and give it back. We're starting small. But then, like Deepak wants us to do, we are going to talk about what if we all did the B challenge together in the same world? What would that look like? We're going to get there, but let's get confident first in this first phase. Awesome. So you found it. Now we're going to talk through how do you actually assign it. That's great. You have it on your computer. How are you going to get it to your students? In the chat, let us know. How are you currently assigning digital assignments, right? A lot of us are remote. So let us know, are you fully remote in the chat? Are you kind of hybrid right now or back to school face-to-face? And then how are you actually getting other assignments, right? Are you sending it via Teams, Google Classroom, Canvas, email if you don't have a learning management system? What have we got? Great, we have lots of fully remote people. This is so wonderful. Your kids are going to thank you so much when you when you do this challenge with them. They really, really want to create, and it's going to be such a great outlet for them to try something different. Thanks, Jessa. Let us know a bit more about your iPad question. And Carrie's been helping another person with iPad. Maybe, Carrie, we'll take note of those of you on the call who are having kind of a group of issues, like maybe, or you want to work on something like iPads. Maybe we can have a small group sometime about the pros and cons of iPads and what are best practices. Fully virtual, Kimberly. Oh, go ahead, Carrie. Yeah.
Hey, Wendy, just want to say everything's flying by so fast. If I don't get to your question, make sure you're mentioning me and we'll get to you because we've got lots of interest here.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carrie. And thanks everybody for, these are the exact questions we want you to ask. And it's good. Once you get through this painful first part, it really flies by. But really, it's just like any new tool. You got to figure out how it works for your ecosystem. Hybrid and use Teams for assignments. David's got OneNote. I love it. The greatest thing for the classroom since chalkboard. So fantastic. So David would be assigning this out through OneNote. We've got, who else do we got? Ooh. Kara's got a question while this is coming in. Maybe Nancy or Linda, you can drop in the chat to Kara, but district challenge would work if you're full on back in schools. I think 100%, right? The beauty of remote is this is going to work really nicely for you. But right when you go back to school, like your kids are going to be pros and you can do this anytime, right? So wonderful. Microsoft Teams plus forms for submission. Really interesting, right? So now that you have that in your head, that's how you push out assignments and that's how you get them back in. We're just going to use Minecraft and the actual finished challenge that they're going to make, whether that's bees or their bedroom or museum of me. We're going to talk about how do you get them to capture that and then give it back to you so you can record that. Thanks, everybody. It looks like we're all sorts of different tools that we're using to organize our digital instruction. So now we're going to just show you one example of how you can assign it with Teams, and Susie's going to walk us through that. This is a really new, awesome feature that we're excited to show you. Go ahead, Susie.
So in our latest release, our Chromebook release, we also launched Share to Teams and Google Classroom. So this is going to walk through, if we can restart it from the beginning, Wendy. Yeah. I don't know if it's just a little laggy on my end. And so if you find a lesson in the in-game library, which a lot of you did, here's the Museum of Me challenge that I picked, and you click on Share Link under Create World, you are given a few different options. You can share to Teams, you can share to Google Classroom, or you can just copy the link. It's a little laggy for me. I didn't quite see the share to Teams buttons. I don't know if that's just on. I don't know if that's just on my end. So if it's good for everyone else,
I paused it really quick. You see this, Susie? Now the share to Teams on the screen.
Yep. And so when you click on that Teams button right there, there's also an email button. So if you are using Canvas or Schoology or another LMS that was mentioned in the chat, you can click on that email button and copy the link. I clicked on Share to Teams. And then that opens up creating a new Teams assignment in my Teams classroom environment. So if we continue to play that, I'm going to click on Create an Assignment. And I'm going to share it to the class that I want to share it with, which is my 4th grade class. I have the title as Museum of Me. I can add in some instructions. And my instructions are exactly what the instructions were actually in the description of the challenge. So Create a museum of you, what's important in your life, think about the materials you're going to build, maybe do some pre-work on graph paper before. And then it gives instructions on use the camera and Book and Quill, which are our in-game assessment tools, to actually document your work. And you're going to be submitting that in this assignment as a PDF to the teacher. There's a final note that we are going to be doing tours. We're going to be doing live demos over Teams, over Zoom, and actually walking through your world to share with the rest of the class so you can get to know each other better. And then I just click on Assign, and that creates a Minecraft Education Edition assignment straight into your Teams environment. And this does not have to be Teams. You can do it in Google Classroom. You can do it in whatever LMS you're using by just taking that share link. And so we'll show what that looks like from the student perspective in a little bit.
Susie, I feel like that's worth an unmute and an ooh. All right, everybody. So everybody unmute and let's all give Susie an awesome ooh. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thanks, everyone. Mute it back up. Zip it up. Zip it up. Thanks, everyone. Awesome, Susie. And just what Susie showed here too, plug in whatever tool that you are using, right? So if you have this in Classroom, you're titling it, you're putting, I like it too, Susie, because if you have something else you want to put in there, like the graphing, or you want to give them a pre-read, right? Or you have resources, this is your assignment now, right? You're just taking the challenge base, and then you can fluff it up however you want. And New York's going to tell us that in a moment. And then they're also going to show us an amazing rubric, but this is where you would probably put that, right? How are you going to assess them? We're going to talk about that next. Let us know if you have any questions specifically about what Susie just showed, sharing to Teams, or if you have questions about emailing it like she showed, right? You have a choice to email or push to Classroom, or even just the link, right? If you want to put it somewhere else. Let us know. Do you have any questions about this part, how you're going to actually push this Museum of Me challenge to your students? It's important to note, right? Remember back to my graphic in the beginning, you are pushing a single one for each of your students, right? Where they're not all going to join the same file. That's what we do when we do multiplayer. This is nice because just like you would assign, let's say you wanted everybody to make you a slide deck, right? You were going to say, hey, everyone, do my Museum of Me using this PowerPoint deck, and you push everybody their own template of a PowerPoint deck. Same thing here. You're just, instead of a PowerPoint, it's way more fun that you're pushing them this immersive world to do their Museum of Me. Okay, great. Let us know if there's any questions. We're going to keep going. Next up, Nancy and Laura, do you guys want to share with us how you actually pushed it out to your district? Because you have you guys took it up a notch, right? We're showing you how can you do this like tomorrow, and you want to send this out, Thursday morning to your students. But what if you want to do it in a bigger way? New York, tell us, what did you do?
Sure. So we had to design this too from a perspective that many of the teachers and administrators didn't really know anything about Minecraft. So in our announcements, we had to be succinct about what this was, really exciting, and that this really would take, not a big lift by the teachers to implement. So we sent this announcement out, like I said, to all the teachers and principals, which was great. And then we followed up with messages to our individual networks too, to just let everybody know that this was really happening. So that we had already had a group of about 100 teachers and 1,000 active students. So those folks really evangelized along with us the message. We created this webpage, like I said, if you could click on that and show that webpage, that might be really interesting to people, because this was where they were able to access the software, everything that they needed to know to submit the work and assign it to students.
I just dropped the link in the chat too.
Great.
So that's in there if people want to go check out your video and the rest of the web page with all of the instructions, because it's super clear.
Yeah, and it was great because it was like schools.nyc.gov/Minecraft, which was great because Laura and I, to back up a little bit too, for the past 5 years, had been working on STEM Summer in the City, which was a summer school program where we had teachers using Minecraft, and it was quite exciting to all the teachers. So only the art teachers got to teach Minecraft, but all the other teachers understood how exciting it was to the students. So already there was a buzz. We knew we had this wonderful group of teachers and so we've tried it out. We knew it was successful. We knew students were interested in this. It was now a matter of getting people that had no idea about this, interested, involved, and excited about it. So there's our website. This is the video that got, I think it's 22,000 views, which is pretty exciting.
So awesome. And even if you don't, and somebody earlier said, oh, like my students know how to play so well. Maybe you put them to task, right? Maybe they make a fun launch video like this. How fun is this? Or maybe you even just make a deck, right? That just gets people excited. There's simple ways that you can get folks ready to go with this. I love this. Thanks so much.
Right.
Any other tips or questions, or Laura, did you want to share too?
Yeah, I just think on this slide, we some of our teachers had said that, you know, sending the students directly to this website would be almost too much for them. So if at the bottom of the link in the last bullet, there's a teacher's assignment where the teacher took many of the things that were on this webpage and presented it how she thought her kids would want to know about it. So she did this in Google. She has like a little flyer that she assigned, I think, in her Google Classroom. So you can see, again, just somebody trying to make sure that the kids, she didn't think that the kids would really go through all the links, but the fact that she did it, they did. So this, again,
I love that. I just pulled that up here. So, right, there's so many different ways that you could do this. It could just go in Teams, like, right, you could start there and just say, I'm going to at least push it out to Teams and my kids will get it. But then level 2, now you've got a nice flyer like this, right? That really boils down the facts here, right? And all the steps. I love this. We'll send this out in our follow-up too. So you guys have all of these great resources as well as our deck. But then you take it the next step, right? Especially if you're like New York and so huge, right? Make a page for it that if parents ask you questions, right? It's all in one place so you don't have to repeat yourself or anything like that. I love it. Awesome. Any questions or thoughts about sharing this and actually assigning it out to your students? Again, think of your lesson in mind. Pretend you're going to do this next Monday. What questions do you have for Laura and Nancy? Awesome. Oh, yay. Thanks, Melissa. We're glad you're excited. Cool. We're going to keep going and give you guys a chance, but thank you so much for sharing with us, New York, how this looked. Perfect. Web page, assign it with a PDF, all sorts of good things. All right, now you have a little bit of work time. Just have a think, right? We're going to send you out a template, a planning template in our follow-up email. But now let us know in the chat, how are you going to get folks excited? Are you going to do Teams? Do you want to do like a web page, right? Do you want to do a video, or do you just want to send it out via Teams or Classroom? Let us know. I'm just going to give us 1 minute on our timer to drop that into the chat.
And someone keeps asking about how we're going to see the student work, and we are about to get there. We'll show you all of the different ways you can assess student work, whether you are new to Minecraft or not. So we will get there, I promise.
Great. Drop in the chat. How are you going to, you have your Museum of Me, you have your class. Are you going to push it out to them via Teams? Do you want to do something next step up and make it for your whole grade level? Do you want to make a video? Any thoughts? You want to use Teams? I love it. Senfer, I like that. We use what you've got, right? Especially for your first project. And what's so nice is that you can do this every month, right? You don't have to do it just once. So start small here and then shoot for, maybe you want to ask your team at the end of the year, you do an end of the year challenge. It's really fun. Juliana, really great question. The link will make the student create its own world. Exactly. That's where we're starting. And then they'll turn you in a piece of their own world. I know that's where we want to start today. You might be thinking, but I always see Minecraft with everyone playing with each other. Yes, but we want to make sure you're comfortable with this. And we found this is a really easy way to get started and then ease your way into getting a bunch of your students together. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. Work time's over. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, as Susie mentioned, well, almost there.
Almost.
We also want to talk about how do you get your students ready. So all of you today, you saw that I emailed you with a little prep work, right? If your students have never used Minecraft Education Edition before, you got to build in some time for them, just like you're doing today, to play, understand how to log in. I want you all to think about how are you going to do that at your school. Right? You obviously need everyone to download it first, especially if they're at home. This could be a bit challenging, just like we're doing in chat. It's possible though, so don't be afraid, right? Embrace the messiness of lots of questions in chat. This is where learning comes from, is from that messiness. So of course you want your kids to download it. You have to provide some time or space for them to learn how to play, right? Or get the instruction they might need, whether you want to make a tutorial. New York's going to show us how they did office hours and other great things. And then you just actually have to send it to them, right? And think, how long do you want to give them to do this build challenge? Okay, let's look at what Susie said. She showed you the teacher end, right? You saw how Susie walked through sharing it to teams. Now Susie's going to walk through. Susie is now a 4th grader and she's receiving that Museum of Me assignment. 4th grade Susie, what does it look like?
Yes, so I'm a 4th grade student. I am logged into my 4th grade class team, and this is the assignment that I see that was just posted by my teacher. All I did was click on that link that was in the assignment, and it brings up this page. And then there should be a button that comes. Wendy, you can just play it all the way through. It'll be good. It keeps going back and forth for me. And then it'll say open in Minecraft, and that's all I clicked on. And then Minecraft Education Edition automatically opens to that lesson that I picked. And so this is a little slow because I was building these videos when Wendy and I were on a Teams call yesterday, and I had a bunch of other programs up and going. So this will eventually launch us straight into that Museum of Me world. And it does sound like there's a little bit of confusion in the chat of whether or not students are playing alone or together. This is when you assigned this lesson. Every student is opening up their own world, and they are the only one playing in it. They are not collaborating with any other students. This is their assignment to complete on their own. And then we will show you all of the different ways you can actually assess that work without having to go into 30 different Minecraft worlds. If you are new to Minecraft, like me, I'm not very good at playing in Minecraft either. You really don't want to be having to go into Minecraft and exploring 30 different world files. So we're going to show you how to do that. So this is what it looks like. You just launch straight into the assignment, into the pre-built world, and I can go ahead and get started building my Museum of Me.
Yay! Look at that. And the really magic is, like, when we talk about instructing students, I encourage you all to just play, right? And same with you. It's really, gaming is really intuitive, right? Like, you kind of just learn as you go, and as you need to do things, you figure it out. It's so fun. So embrace that inner 4th grader like Susie, and give them some light instructions. And then for your first lesson as well, just see what happens. Or like David mentioned in the chat, you might do it in OneNote. Maybe for this first one, you say, what questions did you have, right? As you played, instead of you top down telling them all the things they need to know to play Minecraft, let them explore and do inquiry and think of, well, I didn't know how to, what is this thing at the bottom? What does it do? And then they click and they figure it out. So I encourage you, if this is your first challenge, see how it goes and have a space for those questions for them to come. And maybe you have a debrief Teams call where we talk about what was your favorite part of the Museum of Me, what questions came up about playing, and see what happens. And then build this together as a tool that you use in your classroom. I love it. Thanks, Susie. Let us know if you have any questions about how students access it via Teams. But the same way that Susie walked you through this works the same in Canvas and Google, right? Like, it would be an assignment in Google Classroom. They click it, it opens it up. Same. Nancy and Laura, tell us, how did you make sure that your students were technically ready?
Okay, so our district actually provided devices to all of the students that needed them. So that was a great thing, but it also gave us a challenge because we needed Minecraft Education Edition updated to be pushed onto the iPads that were given out to the students. So we had to coordinate with our information technology team to arrange and make sure that they had the right update when it was going to be pushed to all those devices. So it was a bit of a coordination. For those of you that don't have to do any of that, you just like to have this one website where all the information is. If the students don't have access yet to Minecraft, just being clear and simple instructions, that would definitely help. So another thing that we saw was really important was that we evangelized about the fact that all these students, not only did they get Minecraft, but they had Office 365. So a lot of families in New York City didn't realize that they had access to Office 365 software. So, the Word, PowerPoint, all the office productivity tools, which for families in New York City, that was something that was important for us to get that message out, because that really is helping people. So that was just the added benefit to having Minecraft. We also managed one inbox. We had this STEM mailbox where we managed communications, and that really helped us handle technical questions. And of course, the Minecraft Microsoft team was amazing in helping us out. So basically, that's about it. Flipgrid also was something that we pushed out at the same time. And since that was a Microsoft product, that was nice and easy. We had it single sign-on integrated along with Minecraft. So we saw the two coming together, especially important because we don't want teachers having to hunt and peck for worlds. Many of us are not technologists, and gosh, I've had so many days of Minecraft training, and I am still a beginner at it. So knowing that students could just create these Flipgrid videos, and also we had to do the how-to for many teachers who never saw Flipgrid before, or students themselves who were accessing this without any help of a teacher. So everything was just right there, how to all over the place, and just making it easy and available for all.
I love it. Thank you so much for this inspiration of how you might do this, and lots of great notes in the chat, lots of love for Flipgrid. But like you said, you might be launching, how fun is that not only are you launching Minecraft, but now you have another assessment tool that you can use for all sorts of things, right? Like, so this is opening your world to what's possible with teaching remotely. Let's go see what that looks like. Everyone's so excited. Our community hub, Carrie or Susie will drop that in the chat, but you can go to get all of the things, all the questions you have today. Your homework is to just debrief that in your mind and say, I want to know about skins, I want to know about controls, I want to know about this. Go here. Susie and Kyle and Adam on our team work really hard to get the latest and greatest, and you can talk to us, right? Like, I think a couple of you, Carrie, encouraged to make a support ticket. Try first in our community forums. You can just throw out your question or search and see if someone else already asked it, and then get response from our community members. Our mentors are in here, are helping answer questions and inspire you. So we hope to see you in the community hub. So let us know in the chat. We're going to keep going. We've got about 5 minutes left and still want to show you how to assess it. But let us know, is there anything else you want to do to get your students' lesson ready? Do you want to do office hours? David mentioned maybe you just have a play session before you even assign them anything. Same thing, right? Like any new tool, if you were assigning PowerPoint for the first time or Flipgrid, you might want people to just play and get to know. So think, do you want to build that into this first challenge that you give out? I love it. Let us know in the chat. And then now you've got the lesson, you've assigned it. How do you kick it off, right? So let us know in the chat what your video conferencing platform is of choice. We're all remote learning, so we're hosting lots of real-time live events like this. And as New York showed, you can do something fun to get people excited, to show them how to play and access the world, do a screen share. What live method might you do a kickoff with your folks?
Ma'am, where is chat?
Oh, Mom, I don't know where he went either, but we'll find soon. Perfect. Let us know in the chat. Teams with Zoom integration, Cheryl. That sounds awesome. Zoom for students. Thanks, Wanda. And again, this builds up excitement. The challenge piece that New York talked about. Maybe you don't even tell them what it is, and you say there's a mystery kickoff. What does this mean on my calendar, right? How exciting for this kind of routine that all of us have found ourselves in. How might you use excitement to say this is a challenge and people are going to see the world that you make? Cool. So really quickly, we talked about designing. You schedule it, you assign it. Here we are at kickoff session. And then we're going to talk about accept submissions and grading and celebrating it. So I think we already talked about our kickoff project. We already talked about this one with our webpage. Yep, we talked about this. So now let's switch gears into are submissions, right? What are you going to actually assess? And we like to talk about it as in it's nothing different, right? It's the same skills as you have in any other lesson. What skills do you want your students to learn, right? Do you want them to learn how to measure things? Do you want them to learn how to empathize? What is it? So let us know in the chat, in that lesson that you're planning in this challenge, what are you actually assessing them on, right? Are you assessing on creativity? Are you assessing on mastery of understanding, say in Museum of Me, maybe you want them to understand about themselves in a digital citizenship or SEL way. And then how will they actually turn in that work and assess it? So Susie, do you want to talk us through the awesome tools that are available, including Flipgrid, that you might be able to capture student learning?
Yes, I want to talk about this super quickly, but Wendy, if you could drop a link into our Minecraft Teacher Academy course where we talk about assessment, I think that would be great, because I know we have a couple minutes left and I want to make sure we show the New York City Flipgrid videos. But we have in-game assessment tools like the camera, book and quill, and portfolio. I will show that to you in the next slide, that can be exported as a PDF. And that is what we will submit as our final assessment assignment in Teams. We also have other ways of doing assessment in Minecraft. We could have students take screenshots of their world and write up a paragraph in a Word document and submit that as the final assignment file. We could have students share in front of the class. Maybe they're not even turning anything in. Maybe they're giving you a virtual presentation and demo and speaking about what they built. You can have them submit the actual world file, which I would not recommend because that would be a little bit more work for our advanced Minecraft teachers. And then there's Flipgrid. We could actually create a Flipgrid page and have students do virtual screen recordings of their builds and talk about what they built. And all of these things can be submitted as your final assignment in any of these platforms, whether it's Teams, Canvas, another LMS, or Google Classroom.
Thanks, Susie. If you all can stay for about 2 more minutes, we'll wrap up. Sorry to go a little bit over, but we gave you some work time. This is what, here we go.
So this is what it looks like if you want to hit that video and play that, Wendy. This is my final Museum of Me as a 4th grader. I built a basketball hoop because I love basketball. That's my favorite sport. And I can actually go in and take pictures of what I built. I don't know if the video is playing. You can just let it play all the way through. Okay, and then I can take pictures of it, and then I can actually write a paragraph about what I built. So there's my basketball arena in my Museum of Me. This is the book and quill, and I can actually export that as a PDF and submit that as my final assignment to Teams.
It's such a good Museum of Me. You did really good, Susie. How cute is that?
Thank
awesome.
you. So book and quill, also a really great tool for English language arts and reading and writing. And you can sign book and quill and then export it as a PDF. So if we want to skip ahead to the end of the video, it shows going back into that Teams assignment, uploading that file, and hitting submit.
Woo! Nice job, Susie. And now we get to grade it, and we'll look at some rubric stuff. Let's look at another way, though. Let us know if you have questions about how she did that. Flipgrid, there's really great Flipgrid resources on how to actually do it, but it's a screen recording that you're going to take, and your kids would just record their amazing screens. And we've got really quick, before I show those videos, here's the rubric from New York, and we'll share this rubric with you, right? And you can see here we've got theme, creativity, collaboration. New York gals, do you want to share us just how you did Flipgrid, and then we will show your actual submissions to close us off.
Sure. Again, I think saw in the chat that there's a lot of folks that have a lot of good things to say about Flipgrid. Flipgrid for the kids, again, they love it. From a point of view of doing a large scale challenge like we did, I know it works for our classes, but we had about 1,600 submissions, so we had to be able to divvy up the submissions amongst folks. Susie was one of the folks that helped us as well. We were able to sort by grade and do a bunch of other things. And I don't know if you want, I don't think we have time, but when you get this deck, you can click on that extract the submissions, because the way we set up the Flipgrid, we put in the three aspects of the rubric. So when we extracted that Microsoft file, our reviewers were able to go in and put their scores in, and it made the kind of the summation a lot easier given the numbers of submissions that we had. The other great thing about Flipgrid is I know we had that great web page, but we could put all the documents, the rubrics, and everything else in the topic of Flipgrid. So once the kids went there, everything they needed was right in one place.
I love it. And I've got here, I've just, sorry for all the screen share. I want to make sure I can play this audio for you, because this is why we do what we do, everyone. This is why you are watching this webinar today, is because you want to make this amazing, great stuff. So here's what it looks like in Flipgrid. I'll test and make sure you guys can hear my audio, okay? Here's one. This is Glenn's new Inwood Hill Culture and Nature Center.
Glenn Tatum.
You guys hear
And I
it?
have redesigned the Inwood Hill Nature Center in Manhattan's Inwood Hill Park. The center was damaged in 2012 by Hurricane Sandy and never repaired. Located on
Oh, you can't see it? Okay, hang on. I want to make sure everyone can see it because it's really awesome. Give me a sec. Flipgrid mixtape, make my sound. Here it comes. How about now?
I see it.
Perfect. All right, here we go. Let's play Glenn.
peninsula and the park and surrounded by water, this new public space will be called the Inwood Hill Culture and Nature Center. The new center has several features and is two-story plan. At the front entrance, there is an art exhibit and there are several areas of seating. There are multiple nature exhibits along with an area for group instruction and the book library. Going back down the hallway, you can see many windows to allow natural light and views of the park. At the end of the hallway, there is an ADA elevator to go to the second floor. There is also a new outdoor deck over the water.
Oh my goodness, we have to give snaps for Glenn, Laura, and Nancy. It's so amazing. You might watch this and you'd be like, oh my God, is this an animation program? No, Glenn is just using Flipgrid, recording his screen and giving a voiceover. It's incredible. Like, what a beautiful nature center. I'll show super fast one other one. This is Harrison's. And how fun for your kids. Look at this. Like, Glenn had 200 views. Like, you don't know that magical feeling, like when Harrison sees that somebody watched Annandale Park. Like, it's incredible.
Hello, my name is Harrison. I'm in the second grade at PS 50 on Staten Island in New York City. Welcome to the public space that I created for the 2020 Minecraft Education Challenge. My space is called Annandale Park. It includes a library, a pond, trees, compost bins, and a public space. Let's take a tour.
Oh my gosh. We will send you all these links, but if you aren't melting right now at Harrison's amazing work, then I don't know what will get you. How cool. Thank you, New York team, so much. That was super inspiring. Don't worry, you might be a little overwhelmed about how you'll get to those Flipgrid videos, but we encourage you to take the time to give it a try, learn. I have a couple follow-up slides and we'll thank our presenters and get you all off to probably your next Teams class that you might have to be presenting. Great. I love this. You talked about extracting the submissions and then give them to reviewers. Again, this is big. If you do it with your whole school or district, you can just do this with your 30 students, or you shoot big and go for this with your whole school. How fun. We have one last note here about some highlights and you know, after you guys did it all, it was a lot of work. Was it worth it, Laura and Nancy? What were the thoughts about it, the reactions after?
Well, I think that, I mean, we actually did a challenge again in the summer, though we didn't have the same mouthpiece of the teachers and what have you, and I don't think we did a great job in communicating it out to the masses, meaning the students. But this year we are going to be doing multiple challenges. We're actually in the planning stages right now, and the way we're going to handle it is we're going to work with our cultural institution partners, so the zoos and museums, and we're going to work with them to come up with the prompts, see if there are challenges they're facing that our students could address in Minecraft. And by doing that, we could also get their experts to come in and do some live streaming and do some sharing of information so the students can be prepared to respond to it. And then hopefully do some place-based, because with COVID kind of just being able to have kids either go to these locations or, again, virtually share what they've learned and what they've built in Minecraft. So we're very excited as a district to continue these citywide challenges. And what we really hope happens is that it moves down into the classroom level, because it's great to do these challenges. It's great to reward the kids and let's showcase their worlds. But the real value is for the teachers to see this and for them to get excited. You can see the comment that one of our teachers posted on our teams where she just couldn't believe what the kids were doing. She was so jazzed. And that's what happened with our June challenge. It got the teachers so psyched. So if we can do our job is to get the teachers really heavily engaged with the resources available so that they use it in their classrooms.
I love it. Thank you so much. And this is a testament to how amazing this project was, that people are staying 10 minutes over to hear more about it. So thanks everyone for going over with us. To wrap up, remember, we hope we see you next week, right? So your homework, if you're going to stay with us this whole month, you probably have a lot of questions. We'll send you a follow-up. Go play with Flipgrid. Maybe practice assigning this to a fellow teacher, right? Next week, we're going to say, what if you make Museum of Me, and then you take that file and you give it to another student and then another student to start introducing that collaboration. After that, multiplayer. We'll get there, but I'm so excited. I love seeing some of your ideas already in the chat. We'll stick around for questions, everybody, for a few more minutes. And then, of course, email us, mcedu@microsoft.com, if you want to dive deep or you need a support ticket if you couldn't figure something out today. We hope to see you on our community hub. I am going to choose our couple of door prize at the end. If you want to tweet out on #MinecraftEDU, what is this challenge that you're going to do for yourself? I'm looking now. This is just a random choice. Is Vicki Graham. You're going to roll out Museum of Me. So to win, just email mcedu@microsoft.com. Susie or Carrie will drop that in the chat. That's to redeem your prize today. It's taking a couple weeks to get out because our prizes come out of Redmond and there's a lot of smoke going on right now. So stay patient for your prize. And then in our chat today, I'm just going to scroll through, pick one of our chat participants to win is Jessa Clark, if you're still around. Thank you, everybody, so much. Huge thank you to Nancy Woods and Laura Winter, our guests today. We really appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you to Carrie and our support team, and to Susie and Allison from the Minecraft education team. Really appreciate all of your hard work today, everyone. You did it. Hopefully you all feel confident enough to give this a try. And even if you don't, we're here to help you along the way, as well as your new best friends in the chat. You've got all their Twitters. Stay in touch with us, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. And thanks again, Laura and Nancy. You guys rock. Thanks for sharing what you're doing.